Hello everybody, I'm Anthony, Rockers Liberty Yellow Submarine, and today it's day 9 of 30 Day Song Challenge, and uh, uh, this is one is called a song that has 3 words in its title, and I decided to choose "Light My Fire" by The Doors. I know a lot of people may or may not. This is one of the bands you either like or dislike the band. I will say this: when I first gotten into their music, I actually liked them. I loved them for quite a bit. But then since lately, I've been getting into heavy metal and thrash metal musics, and not to mention getting into classical musics. I started to less like the Doors, mostly it's because their music started to sound a little too simplicity, even for the band's sounds. I mean, I will give them this I know a lot of people may or may not like the Soft Parade record when it came out too, but I actually enjoyed that record. But it had more of experimentation with the orchestration sounds and the horns, if you will. But this record, The Doors, this one is on the self-titled debut album, The Doors. And I know a lot of people may not like this band that much, which I like them as a band overall. Far prefer them over what I hear in the radio today, personally. And I will say, Jim Morrison as a poet, he is a great poet. I will say, but as his vocals, he doesn't really have. Honestly, he's not one of the best vocals out there. Mostly, it's I don't know, because I don't know. It's like he should have done better with his vocals, personally. Because I will give him that as a poet, it's actually pretty good. I will say. But if you had to choose who's my favorite member of the Doors, let me go ahead and say it's Ray Manzarek, the organist and pianist, keyboardist. Ray Manzarek is actually arguably my favorite member of the Doors. And so yeah, the song is "Light My Fire." So this song is if this is definitely the most, or if not the most well-known song by the Doors, because this song not only it has have a massive phenomenon when it first came out and played on the radio hit stations, but keep this in mind. This is around the time that it had a controversy behind not only this song, but there's the other hits like "Break On Through to the Other Side," and so forth, and the other songs. And especially in the song "The End." Well, I mean, I don't think this was the end, but "Break On Through to the Other Side," where both of the songs were because this is the "Light My Fire" song is where the Doors were invited to go to the Ed Sullivan Show, where that program was one of the most well known programs from at the '60s. And the Beatles were there. There was so many bands and musicians out there. I would name so many. There's so much. But the Doors, well, except for one condition. There was actually, Ed Sullivan actually told the Doors members that he tells them that there was a problem with playing the song because of the lyric line of referencing a drug saying, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher." And Ed Sullivan decides to request them to say, "Girl, we can't get much better." Can you dig that? Yeah, like something like that. Ed Sullivan wanted Jim Morrison to sing the "Girl, we couldn't get much better than higher" because it references a drug. And yeah, and I actually did saw the Ed Sullivan Show, and it was messed up because not only Jim Morrison, even as a real life guy, he is not a nice guy in real life. I mean, because remember Zarek himself actually quoted saying that he's actually a really nice guy, but at the time when he was drunk, he wasn't a nice guy, which I can actually see what he's talking about because I actually did see some people that are like that too. When people are drunk, then yeah, they're not some nice people out there. If they were sober, yeah, they are nice actually. But this song, Jim Morrison did not listen to Ed Sullivan when he said to change up the lyrics. He decided to say the original lyric, which I don't even know why would he do that. Since he got kicked off of the Ed Sullivan Show from not listen for basically not paying attention for what Ed Sullivan told him, and Jim Morrison responded by saying, "Hey man, we just did the Ed Sullivan Show." Jim Morrison is such a such a deranged guy too. Right? He's crazy. He's not a nice guy in real life too, because he was arrested, I believe, twice in his life. I could be. Well, I don't know. I don't think he was. I don't remember. He was arrested like I think 2 or 3 times. But the first one was in around the Strange Days era, where like in the era is where he was arrested after he insulted the police at the time, and I think he was assaulting. I think he was arrested in high school where he pulled a prank on high school. I think he was arrested on that time. I could be wrong, but I do know that he was arrested when he did a decent exposure. I know that, but he's a not nice guy in real life. I mean, Ray Manzarek, he did say he was a nice guy. I mean, because I guess he was saying that when he was recording, when Jim Morrison was recording the songs, he for the most part gets drunk and doesn't act all nice all the time. But I will give him that. I mean, without Jim Morrison, I don't even know what would the Doors would have been. Because especially not to mention like the records they made, Author Voices and Full Circle, which I didn't even listen to them, and I don't even want to. So go ahead and request them in the comments. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna request me to listen to the records. Go for it. I'm gonna tell you no, but at least you requested me it. But back to the song "Light My Fire." So the song, I'm gonna review the album version. So because the singles, I mean, I know a lot of people would prefer singles or album version, but personally, I prefer the album version a little bit because I will say what I love. This song is the most highlighted from this guy Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger. Robbie Krieger easily not one of my favorite guitarists of all time. Definitely not one of my favorite guitarists, or even John Densmore. Not even one of my favorite drummers either. I've heard better drummers personally, even from other bands like Led Zeppelin. Even one of my favorite drummers so far is John Bonham and Ringo Starr, and even the drummer for Queen, not to mention. And so far they're one of my favorite drummers. But this drummer John Densmore, he's not one of my favorites. I don't like the way he drums. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's better than most drummers that we have in nu metal scene. Well, I mean, no. I actually changed my mind. There's actually, not to mention, I do love John Dolmayan, the drummer of System of a Down. I love him. But John Densmore, easily one of my least favorite drummers. I don't really like the way he drums too much. I guess because they're out of sync too. But for Robbie Krieger, I will say his guitars, I will say Ray Manzarek, his keyboardists in this song, way prefer this solo. I much prefer the piano solo way more over Robbie Krieger guitar solos. The reason why I dislike the guitar solo for Light My Fire, I know a lot of people, it's their favorite song on the record. But what I don't really like about this, that solo of the guitar player, like the guitar solo is not really it's so easy. Well, I mean, not only it's easy or simple, but it's not like going I don't know, I just want more from that guitar solo. It's too easy to know how to play that solo. And not to mention, he can't even play the guitar solo even faster with techniques, if you will. But for the guitar player, especially Robbie Krieger, his guitar techniques is not that good personally. He's not one of my favorite guitar players it's so cringy. Because again, one thing I actually do enjoy about the song is the piano, the keyboards. I mean, it's Ray Manzarek. Ray Manzarek, I think he's personally my favorite member of the Doors because I feel without Ray Manzarek, I feel that this band would have been nothing without him. I mean, I know a lot of people would have said Jim Morrison, but I mean, Jim Morrison, I will say he is a great poet, so I feel that this band would have been a little bit down. It would have been a little downer if it wasn't for Jim Morrison. But, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of I mean, I will say this, I'm not the biggest fan of their music, although I actually listen to a lot of songs from them, but especially after I got into heavy metal and thrash metal musics, and then my opinion started to change about how I feel about the Doors. But Robbie Krieger, his guitar playing, definitely, I don't like his guitar. I don't like him as a guitar player personally. Mostly it's because his guitar, especially in not only his riffs or solos. I mean, actually, it's mostly the solos. His solos are just so off too. Not to mention, off the music beat too. Not to mention, or drum beat, because it sounds like a 16-year-old practice guitar playing for a month and it just walks into the studio. But Kirk Hammett and even George Harrison and even there's so many other guitar players out there that would kick the absolute crap off of the Robbie Krieger. Even Jimi Hendrix, for example, he will kill him with techniques and even awesome sounds of the riffs too. And even Steve Vai, he will murder every guitar players out there with techniques right there. Oh my God, he is not. If you have not yet, listen to Steve Vai's music. Oh my gosh, his musics are just God, is he a human or an alien? But yeah. Speaking of Steve Vai, 2 days ago I watched Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, the actor from The Karate Kid. Oh, it's one of my favorite. It's actually one of my favorite movies from Ralph Macchio, who plays Danny LaRusso in the original Karate Kid movie. And Steve and the I'm sorry, but the ending, the Steve Vai part, best part of the movie, hands down. I don't care what anyone says out there. But back to the song. The song is not really anything much, except just Jim Morrison basically singing the verses, and then suddenly, suddenly he goes to the chorus. And I will say I much prefer the Ed Sullivan performance way more than the record version. Because here's the thing I don't like about the record version that much. Here's the reason why I don't like this version more. It's mostly because, especially when you hear Jim Morrison's crazy vocal range that he has. I mean, it's not one of my favorites. I mean, personally, I think Sarge Taken would have killed him with his vocals techniques. But another thing is that in the Ed Sullivan Show, I understand it was shorter than the record version, which I don't know. If you like the keyboards, if you like the sound of the keyboards, you're honestly going to like the record more. But I would say probably both. But if you want more of the vocals from Jim Morrison, I strongly recommend you to watch the Ed Sullivan Show. He kills it with the vocals. I think he sounded way awesome than the record version, personally. And personally, I mean, if I was thinking like if Jim Morrison did not, I was thinking like if Jim Morrison did not said, if he actually promised and actually listened to Ed Sullivan, would they even go back to be invited again just to get more and more popularity? Depends. Don't get me wrong, Robbie Krieger, I will say the songs I actually do enjoy his guitar playing. It's definitely not only the riffs, mostly it's the solos. Well, mostly riffs, not just solos. But one of my favorite songs from his guitar playing is it's "Love Me Two Times," "Spanish Caravan." That might actually be my favorite song from his guitar playing, and not to mention "The End," arguably the best song from the whole catalog from the Doors. Yes, it was on the self-titled debut album. I don't care. That song is easily my favorite song by the Doors, hands down. I love I love the dynamic to this song. Oh, it's so good. I don't care if you're gonna be like, oh, it's so long. Like you literally can't get into music. But oh my gosh, "The End" is arguably my favorite song. And I will say, "Love Me Two Times" has such a great riff right there. Dun 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 dun. Like, oh, such a good riff. I wish more of his music. I wish more of his stuff sounded like that. That's just personally. I know you're gonna throw all your hate comments. I don't hate. I mean, personally, I don't hate this band. I much prefer listening to this band rather than all of the radio, or you could basically call it the modern pop music that we have today. I much rather listen to this band. I mean, I will say they actually have some great moments in this band. I will say this. I mean, I will say I somewhat like them. Because, I mean, my favorite record from them, I would say Strange Days, personally. I don't know. My opinions are very interchangeable. Because the records for me is very interchangeable. And that's all I had to say about the song Light My Fire. After the keyboard solo, we go to a guitar solo, which is arguably not one of my favorite guitar solos. It sounded like pretty much trash. It sounded like a kid trying to play a solo for a song. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how old was he. I'm guessing he was around in his 20s. That kind of explains it. But, I mean, not all 20-year-olds guitar players don't sound like that. There's actually others that I like. But after we get to the guitar solo, we got to back to the main sound of the intro, and then of course it goes back to the verses, goes to the chorus, so forth, and in the ending is where Jim Morrison goes a little crazy with this vocal rage intense in the ending, which I actually do enjoyed it. Which even though I actually preferred the end with the crazy dynamic of building up, even though I did not like the idea of going downwards to that okay riffs, although it's a decent riff from Robbie Krieger, but I didn't like the way they go back to that down there. They should have just kept it up, like a slowly build up to like the craziness in the ending, just like Led Zeppelin's "Stairway to Heaven." That would have been awesome. I would love that. That would have easily been one of my favorites. Honest, I mean it's one of my favorites from the Doors, but I feel it would have been better, personally. But that's all I have to say. What will you put a song that has 3 titles in its name? It could be any songs or any bands. It was actually a pretty tough one for me to choose. I had to choose this one, Light My Fire, or the Beatles' Strawberry Fields Forever, which I much prefer that song over Light My Fire personally. But personally, it was hard for me to choose, but I decided to put Light My Fire from The Doors. Mostly it's because I just want to show how underrated these guys are. I know a lot of people didn't like them, or some people like them. I mean, I just want to show how much I do actually like their music. There's actually some songs I actually enjoy from this band, so I'm not gonna turn it off if I hear the Doors songs. I would listen to it all the way. So I'm not, especially if I'm with my parents or with my friends. I would definitely play it. I would just have fun with it, pretty much. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know let me know in the comments down below what song title will you put that has 3 words in it. Just let me know in the comments down below. And I was about to end it already. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family. Tap the bell for notifications to go directly to that video after you hit the subscribe button. And YouTube has that problem. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it still has that problem today still. What a shocker. And my social media, Facebook, Instagram are in the description. So I've done this album review of the self-titled debut record of The Doors. I did a review of it, which I didn't watch the video yet, which I may check it out to see how it holds up, which I may probably do a redo of it. But I'm also gonna do more of the record review of The Doors, because I haven't been reviewing a single Doors record since I've done Strange Days record review. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now. And sorry again, it was late, but I'm mostly gonna post it like this late. So I will see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love, and also keep head banging. Yeah.